sleeps. They're in the hut, in the crowd. The dead are not dead. The dead are never gone. They're in the breast of a woman. They're in the crying of a child. In the flaming torch. The dead are not in the earth. They're in the dying.
This work is from also from a poet, an African poet.
Yeah. There's an African poet I've been interested in by the name of Birago Diop, and he lived in Senegal from the 1930s until the 1990s when he died. He's a wonderful, wonderful poet. He wrote a lot in French, and it's been translated, and in his native language. And he wrote a book. He wrote a poem called "The Dead Are Not Dead," in which he describes encountering the dead in all of the things of the world, not just in the cemetery, not just in the memorials that we make to the dead, but in everyday life, in the chairs, in the ground, in the trees, in the wind, and fire, in the water. He constantly feels their presence. And that was very moving for me because I lost my mother and father in the 1990s, 8 years apart. So I know what it's like to be with someone who's dying and to see them and feel them leave their bodies, because I experienced that with both my parents. And since that time, my father died in '99, I've been really making a lot of works that have directly to do with this fragility of human life as existing on the kind of borderline between, constantly we live between life and death, just even in ways we can't imagine. And so that's a really important theme of my work, because without the opposite, you can't understand the thing that you're looking at. So we don't know what light is unless we have darkness. And we don't know what life is unless there is death. You know, we don't know what time is unless there's an eternal universe which lives beyond our individual human lifespans. So all of those things together make the world be a kind of network or a web of relations. And I think the relationship with the dead is one of the most important we have. And unfortunately in America especially, we don't have such a tradition of honoring the dead. I mean, you think of your own parents, and I think of my parents' birthdays when it comes around, and their death days. But for most people, we don't have a tradition of being aware of the dead in our lives. And so that's something I was thinking about a lot with this piece. And I have a beautiful place to put this work, which is filled with ghosts and spirits, and, you know, it's quite wonderful. So, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Thank you very much.
Okay.